Hello everyone. Now we will discuss functions and the pigeonhole principle. To begin, we will answer the question, what is a function? Now, to describe a function, let's consider this example. Suppose that each student in a discrete mathematics class is assigned a grade from the set with elements 1.0, 1.25, 1.5, 2.0, and 2.25. And suppose that the grades are 1.0 for Pete, 2.0 for Piper, 1.5 for Jesse, 1.0 for Eli, and 2.25 for Bob. Now let's take a look at its graphical illustration. Familiar? In the illustration, each element of the set student is assigned to a specific element in the set grade. This assignment is an example of a function. By definition, a function f from set A to set B is an assignment of exactly one element of the set B to each element of the set A. Take note, one element only from set B is mapped to an element of the set A. If f is a function from set A to set B, then we write the equation, this equation actually. Okay. Functions are sometimes called mappings or transformations. So, a function f from set A to B can also be defined in terms of a relation from A to B, provided that a relation from A to B contains one and only one ordered pair AB for every element A of the given set A. So sa kana lang na case, we call it a function from set A to B, sa relation. Remember, all functions are relations, but not all relations are functions. Kaya diba, if we have a relation from A to B, an element of A can be related or may have multiple relations to elements of the set B. So, mo na siyang dili tanang relations consider as functions. Now, to reiterate, this function is defined by the assignment f of A is equal to B, where the ordered pair AB is the unique ordered pair in the relation that has A as its first element. So, mo to siya. So, another definition, if f is a function from set A to set B, we say that A is the domain of f, or of the function, and B is the codomain. If f of A is equal to B, we say that B is the image of A, and A is the pre-image of B. The range, or the image of f, is the set of all images of elements of the set A. Also, if f is a function from A to B, we say that f maps the set A to set B. Klaro ba? So let's simplify. No, to reiterate and simplify, mo lang man siya ang pasabot, no? So if we have the sets A and B, and we have the function A to B, so our A is our domain, our set B, the given set B, is our codomain, and then B is the image of A under F. Kung siyang f of A is equal to B. So, mo to siya ganina. And then A is the pre-image of B under the function. So, let's also take note that the range, no, is a subset of B. No, but the range does not automatically, or is not automatically equal to B. or our codomain. So, depende na siya sa ato ang given na function. So, karon, from the previous example, we have two sets man. We have the set student and we have the set grades. So, for this example, we have the following property. Our domain is the set of students, mo siya. Our codomain, mo po ni siya, the set of grades. Our range, look at the range. We only have 1.0, 1.5, 2.0, and 2.25. No? Notice that for this case, the codomain is the set of grades. And then the range is not the same. Dili equal si codomain and si range. Dili man gid pud na siya automatic, no? Equal, depende sa ato ang function, sa given function. So, walay nakalink or nakamap kay 1.25. So, that's why it's not included sa ato ang range. Though part siya as codomain or element siya sa atong codomain but not an element of our range. So, yun na siya. Karon, let's have another definition. A function f is said to be one-to-one or an injunction if and only if f of a is equal to f of b. This implies that a is equal to b for all a and b in the domain of f. A function is said to be injective if it is one-to-one. So to simplify, one-to-one function siya if every element of its range has only one pre-image or only one element of the domain is mapped to any given one element of the range. So isa ra gyud, mo nang gitawag siya og one-to-one. Now, let's have example number 1. So, determine whether the function f from the given set having elements a to d to the other set having elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with the given functions, no? F of a be equal to 4, f of b is equal to 5, f of c is equal to 1, and f of t is equal to 3. No? So determine if it is one-to-one. Okay. So given the illustration, it's quite obvious no that the given function is one-to-one. Kay each element sa ato ang range kay naay isa lang ka pre-image, no? Ito naka-connect sa iya ba? Ang ato ang range for this example contains the elements 1, 3, 4, and 5. Kada lang sila upat, no? Isa ra jud naka-connect sa ilaha from kaning ato ang element sa atong domain, no? Mo na ilahang mga pre-image. So, klaro, no? The function f is one-to-one because the function takes on different values the four elements of its domain. This is illustrated klaro sa ato ang figure. Now, let's have example number 2. So, which of the following is a one-to-one function? So, for this example, only item A is considered one-to-one. Kay each element sa ato ang range, same sa first example kagayina, na ay tig-isa lang ka pre-image, no? Item B is not one-to-one. Kay notice, ang first or ang kaning top element sa ato ang range has two pre-images, meaning na ay duha ka elements sa ato ang domain na naka-connect sa iya. So, dili siya one-to-one, no? Okay, so for item number 3 or letter C, dili siya mo consider na function. no? Kaya ang third or middle element sa atong domain is connected to two different elements sa codomain. So, bawal man ni siya. Though this is a relation, okay ni siya if we talk about relation. But, sa concept sa function, dili siya pwede. Kaya dapat, each element aning ato ang domain, isa ra gyud ang iyahang i-map sa ato ang codomain. So, okay, so that's example number 2 for one-to-one. Now, let's proceed to definition for an onto function. A function f from a to b is called onto, or a surjection, if and only if for every element b, element of the set B, there is an element A of the set A with f of A is equal to B. Now, a function f is called surjective if it is onto. So, in short, a function is onto if and only if the range is equal to its codomain. Klaro, equal daw si codomain si range. So, for this example, asa ani sa ila ang considered as onto function? So, only items A and C are onto. Since obvious man nga equal ang range sa codomain. Kining items nga na din sa left and sa right, no? Equal meaning the same ang number of elements. The same ang elements, no? So, mura ni siya og kana bitaw na maligya ka. Nahalin tanan imuhang baligya walay bilin. So, ang inana ang criterion sa onto function. So, nahalin ang imuhang codomain tanan kaning diri sa imuhang right side, no? So, kani nga case, it's not onto since kani siya, ang third element is wala siya nakamap sa to ang domain. This one pod, na ay isa din nga loner, walay nakakonect sa iya, so that makes it a function nga dili onto. Okay. So, for example 2, so naputay mga different types of correspondences. So, makita nato nga pwede na puti ay siya nga both one-to-one and onto ang function. And we call it bijective. Now, we will define later sa ning bijective. So, ato sa ning isa-isahon. So, for item A, one-to-one siya, no? One-to-one, pero dili siya onto. Kay item 2 dinhi side sa tuang codomain, walay nakakonect sa iya ha. So, for item B, onto siya para dili one-to-one. Dili ba one-to-one? Okay. Sige. Klaro, nakita ra, basig nangalibot sa mga dots, no? So, item 2 or element 2 dinhi sa ato ang item B, na duha ka buok naka-connect sa iya, no? Sa element sa ato ang domain, si element A and si element D. So, both pointing to element 2 sa ato ang codomain. So, that makes it not one-to-one, pero onto siya. Okay, if you look at the elements sa ato ang codomain, 1, 2, and 3, mo man ato ang codomain at the same time ato ang range. Kay tanang elements niya na ay nakamap ni elements sa ato ang domain. So, meaning na arrow nga nakapoint din sa iya. For item C, it's both one-to-one and onto. No, one-to-one ra gyud, isa-isa ra gyud sila, and then onto pud siya since equal ang codomain ug ang ato ang range. For item D, neither, no, dili siya one-to-one, dili pud siya onto. No? Naay 4 dinhi nga element 4, walay nakamap sa iya, so X na siya, so pagka-onto. So 1 to 1 di pud pwede because si element 2 dinhi ay duha ka buok nakamap sa iya. And for item E, dili siya function. Ngano gani ni? Dili siya function since para asa ani nga part kaha. So kani nga part dinhi. This is evaluation sa definition sa ato ang function. So isa-isa ra gyud. No? So now kani projection. Na-mention ako kaganina. If a function daw ko no, ayun ko ganina, if 1 to 1 o onto, projective daw siya. So by definition, a function is a 1 to 1 correspondence or a bijection if it's both 1 to 1 and onto. We also say that a function is bijective. So bijective siya. Kung parehong 1 to 1 o onto. So, ano lang, simple lang gid siya. So, let's have another definition. Wala na ko nag-example, no? Kaya makita naman sa previous nga example kung unsa ning bijection or bijective nga function. So, let's have another definition. The floor and the ceiling function. So, in discrete mathematics, we frequently use the floor and ceiling functions over real numbers. So, unsa din sila? So, by definition, the floor function assigns to the real number x is the largest integer that is less than or equal to x. The value of the floor function at x is denoted by this one. No bracket nga na ay blank lang sa babaw. Now, the ceiling function assigns to the real number x the smallest integer that's greater than or equal to x. So the value of the ceiling function at x is denoted by this one. So baliktad po sila ganina sa floor. So in short, it's like taking the rounded off value to the nearest integer value. So the keyword is round off. Basta si floor, unsa daw? Ang floor daw kuno, i-assign daw niya si x to the largest number nga less than or equal sa x. No? Si ceiling pod assigns the smallest integer that is greater than or equal to x. So let's have an example para ma-imagine. So first example, the given is this one. It's asking for the floor value of 1/2. So unsa daw ang floor? Unsa daw balik ta? Largest integer nga less than sa iya or equal ni x. Less than or equal ni x. So that makes it 0. No floor man. No say mas ubos sa 1/2. Pero largest integer. So no. So kani po, the ceiling of 1/2, pinakaduol nga integer, pinakagamay. So that's 1. Ang negative 1/2, ang floor sa negative 1/2 is negative 1. No? Sige. Kaya mas gamay man si negative 1 kaysa kay negative 1/2. Karon, the ceiling of negative 1/2 is 0. No? Smallest integer. Okay, so for 3.1, the floor, round off nato si 3.1, call nato yung floor value, we have 3. Kung kuhaan po nato yung ceiling, so pasaka po siya, no? So that makes it 4. 7, the floor of 7 is still 7, no? Kaya wala may decimal value. So it's absolute siya, 7. Okay, so that's it for floor and ceiling. Now let's proceed to the pigeonhole principle. Let's now discuss kung saan siya. Now, suppose that a flock of 20 pigeons flies into a set of 19 pigeonholes to roost. Because there are 20 pigeons, but only 19 pigeonholes, At least one of these 19 pigeonholes must have at least 2 pigeons in it. Note that if each pigeonhole had at most 1 pigeon in it, at most 19 pigeons, 1 per hole, could be accommodated. Nakuha? So ato ang pamugon. To simplify, the principle states that if n pigeons are assigned to m pigeonholes, so we have m that's less than n, then at least one pigeonhole contains 2 or more pigeons. No, kung mag-assign ka ba, kung katong mga pigeons, kinhanan gid silang muhop na siya, no? Pag magabi, usually ang birds muhop magila sa pag gabiin na. So, ang ilang balay mas gamay kaysa sa ilang kadaghanon. So we could assume nga naay mga balay didto sa mga birds nga nag-contain og at least duha ka buok birds, no? To accommodate all katong mga birds nga naa. So, wala man na siya. So, dali lang siya no ang concept. So, let's have an example. So, for this one, if 8 people are chosen in any way whatsoever, at least 2 of them will have to be born on the same day of the week daw. So, muna ang assumption. Ganong ingon animal. So, solution. So, each person, we let it to be the pigeon, is assigned the day of the week. The day of the week is our pigeonhole, on which he or she was born. So, given 7 days only in a week and 8 people were mentioned, mo ang assumption din sa taas. So, klaro ba? So, 8 people versus 7 days a week. So, using the pigeonhole principle, we can assume that there are at least 2 out of 8 persons are born on the same day. So, imo magitong ibutang tong remaining nga isa ka person. No, if we assume nga ang first 7 people, or dili assume, or we let the first 7 people to be assigned a day sa week, from Monday to Sunday. So, ang isa, mabutang gina siya og isa sa mga days sa week. So, mana, at least 2 of them will have to be born on the same day. So, let's have another example. So, this one. So, 10 persons now have first names Alice, Bernard, and Charles. And the last names Lee, Macduff, and NG. No. Show that at least 2 persons have the same first and last names. Now, solution. So there are 9 possible names for the 10 persons. If we think of the persons as pigeons and the names as pigeonholes, we can consider the assignment of names to people to be that of assigning pigeonholes to the pigeons. So by the pigeonhole principle, some name, our pigeonhole, is assigned to at least 2 persons or the pigeons. So, klaro ra ba? So, natay 3 first names and 3 last names. No? Given na siya. So, bali, we have 2 sets having 3 elements each. So, if we apply the Cartesian product, we will only have 9 possible names. Muna iyang giyon dadhe, 9 possible names. No? So, 9 names versus 10 persons. So, nagi sobra isa. So, by pigeonhole principle, we can consider nga naagiyod at least duha ka persons na same ang name. No? Okay, 9 na gud ka names nga ato ang generate. And then natay 10 ka buok persons nga pangalanan. So, since say sobra isa, na isa ka person nga walay name, so we could assume nga kato siya mo claim og isa ka name nga claimed na pod or na-assign sa isa na pod ka person. So, munang naay at least 2 persons have the same first and last names. So, naklaro na pa ang pigeonhole principle. Kung naglibog, you can read a book or find feel free to find the other examples no, sa net or sa YouTube. No? Okay, so that ends our discussion for this chapter. You need to cut short to cover all the topics sa final term. Kaya gamera to ang time. Gamera ba? Or taasin yung time? Or due to the challenges mo na. So man siya. So that's it. Thank you, and I will be uploading the next lecture video soon.